everyone. Welcome to the Felicity, Optimist versus Cynic podcast with us, your hosts, Melissa and Fish. This is a Felicity rewatch podcast. We'll watch an episode each week and join you here to talk about it. And a reminder, this is not a spoiler-free podcast, so there could be things that get said that come up in the future of the show because it's not spoiler-free. That's right. Fish really gave us the important theme music. Breaking news. I am Melissa, and I'm here with my accentuated co-host, Fish. Fish.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm good today. Less gaseous than yesterday.
Yep.
For
us, it was yesterday. For you, it might have been a week ago.
Yes. We're doing some double duty podcasting.
Yeah, some travel coming up for me soon, so we're trying not to get behind.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're accentuated. You're good. Not as gaseous.
Not as gaseous. More accentuated.
Got a body.
I have a body.
That's great.
And things are going good.
All right. Well, what are we talking about today, you may ask? We're talking about Season 4, Episode 8, The Last Thanksgiving. This one originally aired November 28th, 2001, probably about a week after Thanksgiving that year. Such is life. It was written by Josh Rhimes and directed by David Petrarca. Haven't seen that name come up too much. All right, here's the episode description. A big Thanksgiving dinner at the Gals' apartment ends up being more than a little uncomfortable for everyone when Ben brings Lauren, Lisa Edelstein, also along as his date. The only one not there is Noel, whose defensive behavior ruins plans for a holiday dinner with his brother. Instead, Noel finds himself sharing a hotel room with a woman he met in a bar. Yep. Okay.
Yes, he does. Briefly
shares the room and then spends a lot more time in it alone.
Exactly.
So, Fish, let's just start from the beginning like we've been wont to do.
I think that's a good idea. I had really upbeat music and us coming in on Felicity doing more angry painting, or perhaps frustrated painting. I mean, it wasn't sad painting. It was more active.
Okay. She's getting some energy out is what she was doing.
Yeah.
But she's interrupted by the phone ringing.
She is. And I was worried at this point.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. She gets a phone call from Meghan. Absolutely love her hair. She is, she's boiling something on the stove. And if we all remember how I felt about the last time she decided to cast a spell.
So maybe you were having flashbacks to the Force?
Yes. Yeah. I was worried. I'm not going to lie. Okay. I was like, oh no, if this is the reason they get back together and there's nothing else, I am going to throw a fit. A literal fit. But, this is what she's doing. She's cooking something up. She's got a spell in mind. She's got a big black candle lit. She's going to get Felicity and Ben back together, and she just wants Felicity to know.
Yeah, she's got some unicorn root going. She's brewing something up. This is the spell she used for the Spice Girls, so that's good news.
Right.
Except Felicity points out the obvious issue with that, which is they never did really get back together.
Hey, look, we can still say yet.
Yeah.
It may happen.
Hey, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Spice Girls.
But do you, Melissa?
Gosh, that song was so big.
It really was. I fully admit
Was
I never actually saw Spice World. But I
oh
feel like at some point, it's one of those movies that I should get to just because it was a moment in time. Never saw Crossroads,
and
Britney
actually a
Spears.
moment. Like I think I think if you look at the actual amount of time they were together performing, it was like less than 2 years.
Yeah. And, just enduring. And
It's ridiculous.
yeah.
Like how
Well,
could that
and
be?
it's not even so much for the music because you don't hear that anymore. It was just the phenomenon of the Spice Girls. Their names. I mean, they
Mm,
still get invited to do reality TV shows,
fun.
and people, of course, are following Posh and Beckham. And I don't know. It's forever.
It is. Is it definitely not that the music is still like if you talked to somebody who's like 20 right now and you were like, "So, tell me what I want," would they know how to finish that?
I don't know. I feel like it's one of those questions like, where is Usher at 7 o'clock? Right? It's, I feel like people don't know that anymore.
Okay. I don't think I knew it then.
Oh, he's
Yep.
in a drop top.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Um,
Yep.
but it's just, I don't know. But I do feel like, generally speaking, if someone was 20, they could pick out a picture of the Spice Girls
Okay.
and
All
might be
right.
able to name quite a few of them, maybe not
Yeah.
all of them. I feel like Ginger's kind of a giveaway. Um, you know,
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. Well, we could probably go off on this tangent for a while, but we're going to come
okay.
right back. Because Sean is going to come into the room that Meghan is in.
Which is the loft kitchen. And
Hmm.
he is going to be holding the most giant turkey ever.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed tracking how easily Meghan was able to carry this turkey. It is clearly not a real turkey, because she's just like carrying it with six other things, and bags in her arms, just
Oh,
as one of them. And I'm like, that's probably a what, 30-40 pound turkey you've got there.
or a 2 pound turkey, depending on how you look at props.
Exactly. Not a real turkey.
Yeah. What I find so interesting is how adept and nimble they were with Thanksgiving plans, like a day before Thanksgiving.
I know. They were like, nobody has any plans.
Cool.
Well, let's just make it happen. Um,
Yeah. So Megan's thinking like, let's okay, you're holding food, Sean. Let's do Thanksgiving. And then Megan's on the phone with Felicity, so she's inviting Felicity to her place. Sean's like, "Hey, hey, hey, hey. This is Ben's place. Okay? Know your role." And then Megan's like, "Oh, right, right, right. Okay, we still need to make this work. So, okay, we'll do it at Felicity's because our oven's broken anyway. So the whole thing I just said doesn't even work."
yeah,
Yeah.
because he melted some shoes in there.
Yep.
Oops.
That's how that
That
works.
smelled great.
Yeah. Some sort of Schmegan invention, possibly. I don't know.
Well, I think he was
Um,
probably just trying to dry his shoes. No one
that
else has
could be
ever
it
done
too.
that. I've done that.
Hmm.
I haven't. I have not actually melted my shoes, but I have dried them.
Seems like
I mean, this is what ovens are for, right? Storing stuff, as we know from Gilmore Girls, and drying slash melting your shoes.
I mean, I feel like the melting or drying of your shoes, I feel like doesn't wouldn't that release chemicals into the oven somehow
Oh
that you
yeah,
don't want in your food?
absolutely.
Okay, great news. This is a really fun PSA. I don't know if you're now, listeners, I don't know if you're now for or against shoes in the oven, but I'm here to say maybe don't.
And I'm here
She's
to
here
say
to
it works
say
great.
it's totally natural.
Hey, I'm still alive.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Proof positive. Look, I think as long as you don't melt it, it's probably fine. Look,
Okay.
for everyone who ever reuses plastic bottles, I mean, that's supposed to be really terrible, and yet I still do that. And again,
Yeah.
not dead.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, look, the more you know, so all the things you're learning today from us. So Felicity agrees to take on making an entire Thanksgiving dinner, or just
Of course she
hosting it
does.
or
I
being
think
part of it.
host,
I don't
yeah, I
know
think
what they're
just having
doing.
it at her house.
Yeah.
But of course she says yes,
Yeah.
because when has she ever?
Said no.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. So Meghan and Felicity are wrapping up their conversation and are totally occupied with each other, which is unfortunately why Sean is given the freedom to taste what Meghan is cooking, which is unicorn root and potion.
Yeah, I mean, she tells him not to drink it. It doesn't seem like he's gonna fall in love with anyone else. It seems like
Yeah.
it was fine.
Yeah. So now we're going to get, this is what's happening for Noel this episode. Okay, so Ryan's back.
He is, and I didn't remember his name at first, or that. I mean, I figured out from the context that he was Noel's brother, but I knew he had been
Didn't
on the
remember
show
the season
before.
one stuff.
I just didn't remember whose brother he was.
Oh,
But then I saw Noel, and I was like, well, it's got to be Noel. Yeah. So we get
yeah.
this nice fall scene, and I will say 10 out of 10 for decorations and scenery in this episode.
Yeah.
Loved it. We
Okay.
got the trees have turned, and Ryan is, parallel parking. And I don't know, as much as this goes awry, I think it makes complete sense that Noel needed to have some family around. Like, he needed somebody.
Yeah.
So I think it was nice that Ryan comes out.
So I'm trying to figure out, did Ryan come out because Noel asked him to, or did Ryan come out because Noel has been MIA? His mom's been trying to call him. He's not calling her back. And so he just like took it upon himself to come out.
I mean, I don't think that's answered in the episode, but I have a
Okay.
feeling that Ryan was the one who decided to
Who
come.
initiated it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't actually answered in the episode, you're saying.
Okay. I don't remember it being.
Yeah, neither of us seem to have a definitive answer on that. So it could go either way with this, but Ryan is like pretty assertive about, his requests of Noel in this episode. And so I think Noel has dropped off the face of the earth, according to his family, I think is what's happening.
And for anyone who has families like this, when you drop off the face of the earth, like, don't pick up your cell phone for a couple of days. Imagine that. I have a family like this. I have a mother like this. She freaks out and she calls everyone. And then I get these text messages that say things like, if you do not respond in like the next 24 hours, I will call the police.
Uh-huh.
So I can understand Ryan showing up and saying, no, look, mom's worried. You gotta call her.
Yeah.
Like, you have to, because she's bugging me.
Okay. Yeah. Also worth noting that after Ryan parks the car, well, I get, yeah. So of the things to note from this scene, Ryan saying, call mom. He's like, how's the new graphics job?
Right.
We're getting all of it out there. And then they look at the signs for the parking, and there's so many signs with so many instructions. And Noel's like, I don't know. This is probably fine. Just park here. It's cool.
I mean, honestly, on Thanksgiving, I really don't think there are cops out who are going to give you a ticket, but apparently there was one.
Yeah.
And it happened. But I think what's important to note that Noel is lying about the fact that he still has the job.
Yeah, for
And
a minute he is.
yeah. And I didn't realize till a little later, but Ryan also doesn't know anything about Felicity. Like totally in the dark about what's going on with Noel.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and it makes sense, right? It seems as though it seems like this isn't an issue of they've been talking and Noel's been withholding information. It seems like this is an issue of Noel hasn't been talking with Ryan.
Yeah.
Or anybody.
And I guess I got the feeling at first that Ryan came out because he'd heard about Felicity.
Oh.
And so when Noel lies about the job, I'm like, okay, but Ryan's here to support him about Felicity. And then later, I realized, oh, he didn't know anything.
Dang, yeah. Ryan's being caught up on this plot just like everybody else. Yeah. So
Also have to say we have a nice reprise of Noel's fantastic brown leather jacket. This is the leather jacket episode. Just about everyone wears a leather jacket at some point, and they're all fantastic.
Wow. Okay. Great news.
But not everyone. Sean wears a pilgrim's hat.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's very true. We're going to go to the loft. Sean and Meghan are kind of getting into it. Sean's like, Ben's gonna say no. Meghan's like, nope. No, I'll make him say yes. She says, so she's going to invite Ben to Thanksgiving. Ben, do you want to come to Thanksgiving? Ben's like, sure.
Sounds like no details.
Okay, a little bit more complicated than that. Thanks though for trying. It's at Felicity's.
Right. And Ben comes out in a Dean and DeLuca shirt. So I'm looking at this thinking, is he still working at Dean and DeLuca? Oh, that's got to be awkward.
Yeah.
And we will see that a bit later. And please remember that all of this is happening while Sean is wearing a slightly too small for his head pilgrim hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It made me happy.
Well, Ben hears where this event is going to be, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna see my dad. That's what I'm gonna do instead.
Gonna go to the hospital.
Yeah, that's a good backup plan. That's a good reason not to be there.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Ryan and Noel enter the loft with all these other people still in it, except then Ben leaves. And there's just a lot of, at the beginning of this episode, I think the instructions for Scott Speedman were Ben blows into and out of every room.
Yeah, but he's been doing that for a while. I mean, he's been kind of not talking and leaving places. Mm-hmm. I feel like this has been a thing.
Yeah.
So
there's a really weird energy when Ben walks out, and,
yes.
Ryan notices it.
Yes, in a competing leather jacket.
Oh
which
my
he puts
God.
on over top the Dean and DeLuca shirt. I think he puts it on at that point. He has a black one, and Noel has a brown one.
Wow.
And so Sean, who apparently is on Ben's side and was shaking his head at Noel at the last episode, is now going to invite both Noel and Ryan to Thanksgiving at Felicity's place.
Which kind of makes Meghan drop her mouth open just a little.
Mm-hmm.
But Noel's like, and Ryan kind of seems like, yeah, I'm into it. Noel's like, no, we have plans. Ye Waverly Inn. I have dreams about it sometime. No, that was freshman year. That was like one of my favorite things ever, by the way.
Yeah.
Ye Waverly Inn. Ye Waverly Inn. I have dreams about it. Oh my God. What a great moment. Anyway, that's not from this episode though. In this episode, Ryan does seem into it. Noel says, no, we have plans. Sean's like, well, that's too bad. We were going to invite you.
And Meghan is clearly not okay with them coming because she is going to be casting a spell to get Felicity and Ben together. I am at this point wondering how she is going to get Ben and or Felicity to drink said potion. This question never is answered, but these are the things I think about.
Yeah, you're looking for logistics. That's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to go to Dean and DeLuca. Javier is talking about how he and Samuel, they fight all the time. So Javier took mommy and he left the house.
This delights me. I mean, not the fact that he fought with Samuel, but the fact that we get mommy for a good part of this whole episode, just, it makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of cat cameos here.
Yes.
Heck, mommy speaks on cue on a number of occasions. Yes. So it's more than a cat cameo, really.
And Javier knows what mommy's thinking, what mommy wants, you know, when she's giving him the cold shoulder. So it's nice to get that interpretation through Javier, because the rest of us, I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
So Felicity's going to invite both Javier and mommy to Thanksgiving because, you know, they're not going to be home with Samuel.
Yeah, and part of the reason for this is that this fight was about whether or not raisins should be in stuffing, and Javier strongly believes that raisins should be in stuffing, and Felicity is okay with him having raisins in his stuffing at her Thanksgiving.
Melissa, are you okay with raisins and stuffing?
Really never thought about it before, but I'm sure it would be fine.
You know, I'm not a big raisin fan, but I don't mind golden raisins. So I feel like
that's probably,
let's compromise.
That's probably what they are, right?
I mean, I don't know.
That makes sense. Yep. Look, I like raisins. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with raisins and stuffing. Where I struggle is celery.
Oh, I like celery.
And I understand that celery is a common ingredient in stuffing, which is dangerous for me because it kind of gives me like the flavor is so strong to me and so nasty that it gives me almost like a gag reflex. And
totally. I've never thought of celery as having a flavor.
That is what I hear from people who don't have this issue. Apparently, there are a lot of people out there who think celery tastes like just nothing.
Yeah, like water.
I'm here to say celery has a really, really strong, very obnoxious flavor that might give one a gag reflex. And the only way that it cannot is pretty much like if it's in a soup and it's like the flavor is completely boiled out of it.
And I was just going to say the only time that I've really noticed the flavor is in a celery soup, but the soup was
I'm not talking about an entire celery soup. Yeah. Under no circumstances do I think I would survive an entirely celery soup. But like if it's an ingredient in some sort of other brothy soup, then maybe I can manage it. But if it's like raw celery, get it out of my face, okay?
Not even with like peanut butter and raisins? Ants on a log?
Nope. People make it sound like that's so great, but it is the devil. It's not good.
I'm learning things about you that I didn't know.
Does anybody else have this affliction? Like, I understand that there is a very large percentage of the population that thinks celery tastes like nothing. And then maybe there's like a small, infinitesimal percentage of people like me who's like, is that celery? And it's 3 rooms down.
Like, hey, put the call out. Find your people. I mean, I don't know if it's sort of a cilantro thing, where like some people are really sensitive and some people aren't. But I'm here to say I don't think it has much of a flavor.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wash it well.
And don't get me started on melons. Okay, anyway. So,
that's true.
Anyway, so okay, raisins in the stuffing. All right, so now Ben arrives here at Dean and DeLuca, and he's going to blow past Felicity and Javier.
He's not gonna say hello.
Like, hey, he's like there's like, you know, wind going at his back. Yeah, that's what's happening here. So Felicity's like, okie doke. So she follows him into the storage room, obviously.
He
Because that
clearly
was the
wanted
signal he
company.
was giving. Yeah. I see how she interpreted that from his initial entry.
Yeah, incorrectly.
Oh my goodness. So, yeah, she's going to say, she doesn't does she directly ask him to come to Thanksgiving? She's sort of like, you shouldn't be alone on the holiday.
Yeah.
Who said I'm going to be alone? Oh, snap.
Right.
Ben is I don't know. Ben's got like real I'm getting back at you energy
energy. Yeah.
all episode. And I guess I believe it.
Yeah.
I think he'd be around about here emotionally right now
Mm-hmm.
after, however much time he just spent in the land of sullen, looking down, can't speak at all. Now he's got some words
And
and
some actions.
and they're going to be clipped
Yes.
and they're going to be pointed for
Mm-hmm.
effect at all times.
And yet, most of the time, he does end up kind of softening them. So he's like,
He's
you know, I won't, who says I'm going to be alone? And yes, she does kind of, it seems like she thinks he means she's going to be with a girl or something. And he does clarify that he's going to be with his dad. And you see this relief. And Felicity's like, oh, right. Okay.
it
That
is
makes
an
complete
interesting
sense.
observation that like he's saying his first I don't know if you want to call it an instinct or that's just emotionally where he's at. Like his first reaction in almost every piece of dialogue he has is to say something short clipped and hurtful because he
Yes.
wants to be short clipped and hurtful.
Yes.
And then he sees the impact of it and he's like, I'm not this awful a guy. Like, I'm sorry. Oops.
I don't
He's
know if
like
he's
walks
even,
it back just a little almost every time.
yeah. And I don't even know if he's thinking about himself. I think he sees her face or her, and he's like, I don't want that to happen.
And for Felicity's part, I think like her direction in this episode almost like universally across the whole episode is you're going to sit there and you're going to take the pummeling and it's going to
Yeah,
show on your face, and because it shows on your face it's going to get softened and you're
pretty
still going to
much.
feel like crap and you kind of deserve it.
Yeah,
And that's
100%. That is, yeah.
it's
But we get
yeah.
these weird, I don't know how to interpret them exactly, but we're still getting Ben. The camera is coming and giving us these close-up shots of Ben's face as he's looking at Felicity, like when she turns around and leaves or across a room. And so she turns around to leave, and we see this look, and I don't know. I kind of said sad uncertainty, but it didn't quite seem sad, but I don't know. It felt like he was feeling or thinking something, but I'm not 100% sure what it is.
Okay. Seems fair. I don't know either, but what we've heard him confirm for more than one person now is that he's going to see his dad
Yep.
on Thanksgiving. So that's the move.
Which he is, even though John Ritter is not in this episode.
No, no, he's not. We will see John Ritter again. Just not in the episode where he was being used as an excuse.
Right.
Although, like having said that, Ben does in fact go to see his dad. We just don't get to see that.
Yes.
So we are going to go to my favorite part of this episode. Surely everybody is. I don't know.
I am I want to hear your take on all of the Trevor Elena stuff.
I guess we'll just like I
Because
don't
you
know that
said
I
this
have like a
was,
big lump of stuff to say at all at one time. I think
no, but
we'll
as we
kind of
go,
as we go.
because you said that this was your least favorite episode of Trevor. And I would
Probably.
like to know why.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so
Because
we're gonna start
unsurprisingly,
here.
I had a different
You
reaction.
had a different reaction. Okay. So Elena and Trevor, we're gonna set up the point of their scenes in this first scene. So Elena and Trevor are together. Trevor sighs while Elena works on a med school application. And Elena's like, hey, you're sighing a lot. I'm trying to do an application here. Maybe what's up with the sign? Because seriously. So Trevor is going to explain the conflict. He says that he is struggling with English 1. It's the second time he's taken it. He's reading a book right now, but he's not reading the book. He's reading the Cliff's Notes of the book, and still, it's just so hard. Why can't they make these Cliff's Notes more simple?
Yeah, I mean, we do find this out later. They're having them read War and Peace in English 1. I mean, the Cliff's Notes version of that is probably like 250 pages. So, I mean, I've read War and Peace. I very much enjoy Russian literature. But I can understand his point. There are very long Russian names that all sound exactly the same. I mean, good luck spelling any name that Tolstoy or Dostoevsky or frankly Chekhov ever wrote. The only thing I didn't particularly love the "it's not my fault, why is college so hard, this should be like the best time of our lives." Yeah, that was a little whiny, but I didn't find it to be the worst thing in the world.
I mean, and for what it's worth, seemed in character. I mean, this is a guy who, the very first episode we met him in, went to 2 different pub nights. One which he stole a beaker from a classroom so that Elena would have something to drink out of. So this is this guy's mission statement. He wants fun, not English 1. He wants fun, not English 1. Okay. Meghan arrives.
And I enjoy this line. She walks in and she sees Elena and Trev sitting there, and she's like, "Isn't this Tacky and Gammy's room?"
Tammy and Gabby.
I know, but she gave them names.
I thought she just said Tammy and Gabby.
I thought she said Tacky and Gammy because she was being like snide about it.
I don't think so.
All right, we're gonna have to go back and listen to that.
Okay.
But the point is, they're away, so
they're
we don't have
Florida.
to deal with them.
We don't have to worry about those 2. They are not going to be part of Thanksgiving because, frankly, who needed that?
Yeah, not at all.
Nobody. So Meghan informs Elena that they're having Thanksgiving there at Elena's apartment, and she invites Elena, whose apartment it is, and Trevor, because that seems obvious to Meghan.
Well, he's there, and Elena seems to like him. So
and, he seems to be hanging around Elena a lot. So and Ben for that matter. So
they're casually kissing. So
I kind of figure Meghan would have met. Meghan would have seen Trevor at the Halloween party, which was not Trevor's finest moment.
Correct.
But I mean, maybe Ben would have brought him by working on some kind. I don't know. She's probably seen Trevor around these Felicity streets.
Yeah, I think he's been around.
Yeah,
and
so it seems obvious to invite him.
Yeah, but it creates an awkward moment of Elena having to say, "Oh, yeah, yeah, you should come." Not really seeming to mean it, and Trev just being kind of laid back and is like, "All right, I'll come." Gives her a little kiss, heads out.
He's going to go find the Cliff's Notes for the Cliff's Notes.
Which honestly, again, for War and Peace, they're probably still like a good 100 pages.
Okay. So Elena now goes back to Meghan and she's like, why? Why did you do that? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Exactly.
Why did you invite him?
And Meghan's just like, wait a minute. Like, I thought I was being nice. Like, did you not want him to come?
Elena's like, I don't know. He's not smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At which point, Meghan's got the answer. She's like, yes, I have encountered this before. I have a solution. Give him the test. She has
So
devised a
this
test.
isn't exactly a solution. Elena has already decided he's not smart. This
She hasn't.
tool is a
She's like,
diagnostic tool.
yeah, I mean, she maybe in her heart of hearts, she already thinks this, but she does say it as a question. She's always saying, like, I'm not sure,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Okay.
And
So she
Meghan's
needs a
like,
diagnostic tool.
yeah,
Okay.
at least the way she's framing it to Meghan. It
All
does
right.
seem like this is the appropriate next step.
Yeah. So Meghan's gonna say, give him the test, and Elena's initially like, no, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, well, maybe you're onto something there. So let's head over to the hospital. Lauren and Ben are coming out of his dad's room because he's doing so much better. It's such great news.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is so exciting. And Ben's like, hey, it is a whole day later than the last scene. Or I don't know, maybe that was supposed to be Thanksgiving Day. At some point, we advanced a day in this episode. It is now Thanksgiving. So Ben's like, hey, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I just wanted to say to you, Lauren, I wanted to say thank you. Not just for being here today, but just for being here, for coming here. Makes it all easier. She's like, aw.
Yeah, he gives her a smile, but I wouldn't say it's a Felicity smile.
Okay.
But we do get a smile out of him.
And then Lauren agrees. She's like, yeah. It's easier with you. And then Ben says, want to get some cafeteria food?
And Lauren is going to reject this. She is going to reminisce about her big family Thanksgivings, and that is what she really wants. She wants a big family Thanksgiving, and so she is going to ask Ben, don't you have some sort of big, Thanksgiving party you could go to?
Like, invite me somewhere.
Yeah.
Please.
But Ben's like, meh, I mean, I do, but I'm not going to go.
It's going to be real weird.
Yep. Not going to say
oh, come on, let's go. Let's go. I mean, unless it's going to be too, let's go.
Yeah. Ben has to say at this point, look, it's at my ex's place.
Yeah.
And at which point Lauren backs off. She's like, all right, if that's going to be weird. But then Ben turns around and is like, wait a minute. Yeah, you and me. Yeah. Let's go to my ex's. That's a good idea for Thanksgiving. Let's do it.
Good thing you had it.
Yeah.
So, well, this is going to be fun. So now we're going to go over to Ryan and Noel. They've just gotten coffee. They've worked out some reservations for that evening for Ye Waverly Inn. He has dreams about, no, they're going somewhere else, but that's fine.
We can pretend.
This is where, so Ryan's going to start to get the real scoop.
Yes.
And Noel's kind of casual about all the life-shattering news that he drops.
Yeah. He's just sitting there and he's like, yeah, actually I got fired from the job last week. Go ahead,
something with the boss's daughter.
Yeah. You know how it goes. Totally casual. And Ryan's like,
yeah. Tale as old as time.
Yeah. Ryan's like, dude, are you okay? This is not casual.
Like, plus, what's going on?
Yeah, it's really tense at your place. Like, there's more to this story.
Yeah, like, well, it's just because like I slept with Felicity. It's fine. Ryan's like, you're getting back together. He's like, well, no, because she was with Ben at the time. So it's weird. It's weird.
And Ryan is just shaking his head at this point. He's like looking down. He's like, oh my God. Look, I know you're in love with Felicity, but you are not making the smartest decisions right now. brother.
And this is it's tough love that Noel does not want to hear.
Correct.
And it's not what he wanted to hear, which is why he dropped the information so casually to begin with. So he's like, Noel's bristling at Ryan's reaction. He's like, I just, kind of wanted somebody to be on my side here. And then he just gets up and leaves. He goes for a walk.
Yeah. Does not come back.
No.
For the record. Just leaves. He's like, I'll see you at the restaurant.
Yeah. At night.
It's going to be a long walk.
Yeah. So that's tense because Noel needs somebody else to be tense with. Good times.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to go back to the ladies' apartment where
there are so many decorations. There's decorations on the wall. There's decorations hanging.
Yay.
There's decorations on the table. They're putting the decorations together. I mean, it's fantastic. This whole series of scenes wreaked havoc with my notes, but decorations, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. And it probably wreaked havoc on your notes because we just have everybody, talking all the time. But that happens sometimes. So, at this moment, Meghan's cooking. Elena's reading through the test that Meghan brought to her.
Yeah, I feel like this was a moment for Elena perhaps to realize that these were not questions that are necessary to life or show someone's intelligence.
Yeah. It's a weird test.
It's a weird test. I mean, we only get, I don't know how long it is. Maybe it's only 3 questions, but I feel like it's longer.
Mm-hmm. They only get through 3 questions.
Yeah.
But Javier's going to come in. Mommy's sleeping on Felicity's bed.
And Felicity's feeling happy. She's like, it feels like family.
Wait, was it Javier that came in?
Javier comes in.
Okay.
Well, they're like, so it's Elena and Meghan, and then Sean, and then Felicity, and then Javier.
Okay.
And then Ben and Lauren and Trevor.
Felicity
in that order.
Is kind of excited about this whole Thanksgiving thing. She's warmed up to it. She's like, it just feels like we're kind of just a big family here.
Yeah. I have to say, this is, of the looks that we have now seen from Meghan, I was loving her hair when she was making the spell. This Thanksgiving look is not her best.
Hey.
She looks really short. I don't know what happened. She is not wearing her heels. She is way shorter than she normally is.
All right.
It was odd.
I mean, look, can't be a 10 out of 10 every episode. Last episode, you were praising her look. This one, not quite there.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not her best one.
All right. Well, Ben. So somebody's at the door.
Yeah.
Who is it? It might be Ben. Oh, it is Ben and Lauren.
Right.
And Ben just gives Felicity a look like, yeah, I brought Lauren. What do you want? What do you want?
Yep. He's introducing Lauren around, and
I'm surprised that Felicity hadn't met Lauren yet, but I guess she didn't.
I don't know when she would have. She was always at the hospital. Well, yeah. I guess Felicity at first went to the hospital, but we never saw some overlap.
But based on the fact that this is an introduction that's happening between them, I guess they never met. Yes. And so Ben is going to introduce Lauren to Meghan, Felicity, and Javier. Meghan, I would describe as abrupt and cold.
Yeah. Like she's more so than usually.
Yeah. She's like, this woman was not a part of my spell.
Mm-hmm. She is clearly, I would describe her as hostile throughout most of this episode. Were she a witness, she would be a hostile one.
Sure. Javier's going to compliment Lauren's blouse, and then Meghan's going to give Javier dirty looks.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to get an introduction between Lauren and Felicity. Lauren brought some sort of wine, maybe?
Yes.
Which
I would assume it's got to be a wine. That's what you do for Thanksgiving.
I guess so.
I mean, it does seem weird that an alcoholic would bring wine.
Correct? It seems a little bit, yes. But that is the gift. And so now Felicity, Javier, and Meghan are going to scurry into the kitchen to have a
Yeah.
tete-a-tete-a-tete. I don't know how that works. The three-person conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I just put there very clear sides. Like you've got the kitchen
Yeah,
group and you've got the living room group.
that's true. Meghan's kind of annoyed. I didn't invite her.
Right.
What the heck?
And she's going to tell Felicity not to be a martyr. Like, stop pretending this is okay.
Well, because Felicity is point blank taking the stance. It's nice that he brought her. You know, she was probably going to be alone. It's nice that she has something to do.
Yeah.
That's her. That's her. You know, what else is she going to say, really?
Yeah.
At
She can't
least out
say get
loud.
out.
Yeah, like out loud, this is the stance that she needs to take. And so it is the stance she is taking. And Meghan says, don't be a martyr. Yeah. She's like, he can be with who he wants. Yeah. And then she walks away. And Javier's just marveling at Felicity. He's like, she's so strong. She's like Joan of Arc.
Yeah. He did apologize for the blouse comment. Just came out.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think we're really setting up for this to be torture for Felicity, and that she's just going to have to sit there and take it because, well, frankly, Ben's angry, deservedly so. And Felicity, you know, she wants to be back together with Ben. She's going to have to go through this phase.
Yep.
Or this forever.
Maybe.
You know, it's like, I got to put up with it.
Welcome to Noel's world.
Yeah.
We're going to get a nice little interlude here about the Cowboys, and Lauren and Trev are bonding. Trevor just sort of asking, like, really? You're favoring Dallas this year? And Lauren saying, I always go with the underdog. Oh. And it's like, interesting. Mm-hmm. Sean's unnecessary comment that he likes the Cowboys because their cheerleaders are, you know, super hot. Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong, but it did not need to be said. Ben's also listening to this conversation. So there's a little group here. Felicity comes over to this group, interrupts it, and pointedly says to Lauren, can I get you anything? Yeah. And Ben's just going to be like, no, we have everything we need. I'm going to go. Yeah, basically, again, though, he has to do it in the most clipped way. That's what he meant. But what he said was, no, we're fine. And then he gets up and leaves. Yeah. Because he's 5. Look, that's where he's at right now, man. I don't know what to tell you. He's not being mature. Different on different people. Yeah. So we're going to go over to the bar where Noel is sitting alone. Drinking alone. But there's still really nice decorations around. Sure. That's nice because it's a Thanksgiving episode. Nice music in the background. And as as you would normally see on Thanksgiving, there's a woman across the bar who's giving him eyes and then comes over to him and then introduces herself as Dana and then says, Noel, would you like a drink? And Noel couldn't look more uncomfortable than he does. I mean, he can look more uncomfortable and does later, but that's true. That is very true. He's going to take that drink. He's going to let Dana sit down. And he's going to regret that. Yep. Yeah. He sure will. But before we get to that, Javier has some choice, not so much words to say to Ben. Javier I really like this scene. Yeah. Javier is holding mommy. And he has mommy say hi to Ben. It's just a private conversation between Javier and Ben and mommy. Mm-hmm. And Javier's like, oh, your girlfriend seems nice. Ben's like, she's not my girlfriend. But so what if she were? Javier's just gonna say, Yeah, his big line here is just repeating, in just a judgmental way as often as he can. Yeah, it seems like he's doing it to get a reaction, but when Ben finally breaks and is like, "Is that all you're gonna say?" Uh-huh. Says, "That's what I say when I don't have anything nice to say." Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he's like, I know you don't, I know you want to hurt Felicity, but this isn't the way. Ben's like, I'm not trying to hurt her. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Javier's got his number. Javier knows what's up. Javier's, yeah, we forget it. Maybe it's been a minute. Javier had a close connection with Ben in season 2. You
Yeah, and
know?
he is very clear. He's like, "I love you both."
Yeah.
He's not like he's clearly on Felicity's side, but he continues to be Ben's employer and the go-between. You know, he
And
he
I think he's
does.
on Felicity's side to the extent of also acknowledging that she messed up. Like it's not just
Yeah.
like, I don't get what he's doing. It's like, yeah, you screwed up and I hope you two get back together.
Yes.
So, I think there's not there's not like a blind following of Felicity that's happening here, but I think that he can acknowledge that Ben had an ulterior motive when he brought Lauren to dinner, and he's not going to let Ben get away with pretending that's not a thing.
Yeah. And I mean, in all fairness, we don't see Javier over at Ben's place eating ice cream or like out playing basketball with him. Like he's not there in that kind
Wow,
of supportive way.
wouldn't that be interesting? I want to see the Javier and Ben playing basketball on the street court scene.
I mean, I can picture it.
I can picture it too. That is a scene we needed,
Yeah.
but a scene we did not get, alas.
Oh well.
Uh, yeah, so that's the end of that conversation. But the point was
And
made.
yes. And
Yeah.
while Ben was having this conversation, Felicity and Lauren are getting to know each other.
Yeah, Lauren looks Felicity dead in the eye. She's like, so are you the ex?
You know, she just starts asking these personal questions, and it's like, all right then.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, she is a sharer.
She's
And
direct, right? I mean, what's her reason not to be, I guess. Ben is going to sit down next to Lauren, kind of territorially, sort of. Um,
I didn't feel
and
like it was territorial. I just felt like this is a chance to stick it to Felicity. He's going to sit
uh
next to Lauren and he's going to be cutting.
yeah, and Felicity is just sort of taking it on the chin. She looks at him and she's like, I hear your dad's doing better. Obviously from Lauren. And Ben's like, yeah.
Correct.
um,
That is pretty much what's happening.
it is kind of amazing because in yet another episode, they're giving Ben so few words
And so much content.
and so much content, and he has to be totally like there has to be something totally different underneath it in this episode than there was in all the scenes of the last episode. Because even in the
Yeah.
last episode, I think we were finding a lot of different nuance in how he was with his so few words in each scene. This is kind of the same the whole time, but
I
all of it
feel,
very different than last time.
yeah, I do feel like this one is really divided into two parts. There's
Mm-hmm.
the I want to hurt her, and then there's the I hurt her.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he's going back and forth between those things.
Okay. Yeah, it seems fair. Well, Felicity has had enough taking it on the chin for now, and she's going to go help Meghan and leave this scene.
Yes. So we're
Uh,
going to go to your favorite maybe couple again,
uh-huh.
Elena and
Yep.
Trevor.
Elena's
Trevena.
working. Elena's working. Trevor comes in. He's like, hey, how about you join the party? The one that you didn't
Right out
invite me
there.
to. The one that's happening in your
Or
apartment.
I could bring the party to you. And he hands her a nice red flower. And she's trying to work on her application, but he kind of, gets her up and is being kissy and throws her on the bed and, he's just being flirty. And she's like, you know what I should do now? Ask you test questions.
Yeah, well, especially because he's just finished his War and Peace Cliff Notes to the Cliff Notes. And so he's free now. He's got the mental bandwidth to do the test.
And he said, War and Peace isn't so bad.
Yeah, turns out.
Honestly, the only thing that I remember about War and Peace is there's a party and a bridge.
Okay. All right. Ringing endorsement from Fish.
Yeah.
So Elena she couches this in the idea that she's got an essay that has some questions she can't figure out for her med school applications.
Yeah, I feel like this could have been thought through a bit more, Elena, given that you're supposed to be the smart one.
Part of the episode could have been thought through a little bit more. She's like, yeah, there's this one question. What are the planets between the sun and the earth? What the heck?
Right.
This isn't the MCATs.
I think even on the MCATs, that was not a question.
That would still be not a question. Yeah.
That's like a 4th grade level question.
Fair. And he's like, hell if I know.
Yeah. He's like, if that's what you need to get into med school, I'm screwed.
Yeah. But he's like, he does throw out his answer, which is Mars and Venus.
Did you say Venus or Jupiter?
He said Mars and Venus.
And then I, at that point, paused it and went, wait, do I know this? Yes. Okay, I'm good. So Mercury and Mars.
Yeah.
And I'm 1 out of 1.
Okay.
Yeah. But Elena is not happy that he didn't get this right. He doesn't understand why. She says, you don't understand why. And she leaves the bed.
Yeah. She's frustrated, and this is all just way too weird because what just happened?
Right.
And Trevor
he brought
totally
you a
lost.
flower and was charming, and now you're in the bed together. And what are you doing, Elena? What are you doing?
Yeah, this whole thing is ill-conceived, not well thought out. This is not really, I don't know. What are they doing here?
So I'm beginning to get the feeling that your issue is more with the writing and the general idea, and also how everything is playing out between Elena and Trevor, rather than it just being Trevor is terrible as a person.
I think it's kind of everything. So first of all, I think it's Mercury and Venus that are the planets between the sun and the earth.
No.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
I am 0.
I'm aware of this because I'm Vemschnup from Saved by the Bell. But anyway, yes. So apparently this test means nothing. So I don't know. Why am I feeling this? First of all, I'm trying to decide which order to put the onion in. Do we go outside in or inside out layers? I think the very premise that Elena is considering a relationship with somebody that she thinks this little of. If this is a valid concern for her, this is not going to work. She already has her answer. Okay. Why are they wasting her time in what? This is not a character who's worthy of a relationship with her. If she doesn't think this character is worthy of a relationship with her. So on the one hand, it's this is the guy that you think of to give her as a rebound. This is it. Then I think about what else is Trevor bringing to the show? And Trevor is making it harder for Ben to be a good student. What is Trevor there for? you could layer almost any type of personality onto this guy. Why make Trevor? Why pair him with the two people who are trying to be the most serious students on this show? Like, what we know about Ben is that he has to be a serious student right now. Elena has always been like just a serious student. And you're going to tell me that Trevor needs to be paired with these people because he's going to add value to the story somehow. Like, you could find other ways to ask Elena to have balance as a character without giving her somebody that she thinks is literally stupid. You know, like it's so much for me to think that there would be this connection. To think that after like everything with Trevor in the first couple episodes, Ben would be like, let's still be lab partners. I don't know. It's a lot for me. And then
I feel like the Ben part is explainable because he saved him.
Yeah. Then we get to the so if you then if you get past that layer, now it's like now Elena needs to do an actual test to determine that he's not smart enough for her. She already has the answer to that if she's wondering it this much. And then if you're going to give him a test, this isn't the test.
This is definitely not the test because I now will fully admit I get none of these questions right.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I'm
and
the
that
stupidest
obviously is
person.
not a measure. Like this is trivia.
I mean, I unfortunately got all of them incorrect and also went to an Ivy League school. So for the record, everyone can now feel better about themselves.
It's trivia. This is not a test of aptitude.
I mean, it's definitely not, none of these things are things I deal with in my life.
Yeah. It's like this test isn't, if you were trying to decide if somebody's smart enough for you, which is a stupid premise to begin with, but if you were, this test is not going to determine that. And if it did, correct, then what do you do? Which I think is the question she should have been coming to from the very beginning, because she's already decided that he's not smart enough for her. So like, I don't know. I feel like, what am I supposed to be feeling about Trevor show? You know, like, what do you want from me?
I mean, I fully admit, I feel like it was forced in the last episode. I do feel like, yes, Elena has this judgment that he's not smart enough for her, but she's still, I mean, at least the note is, she's still attracted to him. She's still into him for some reason.
Like, but I don't even really feel that chemistry between them.
Yeah, I definitely didn't in the last episode. I felt it more here in this episode. Honestly, I'm going to go on record and say this is my favorite Trevor episode.
Oh my God. I honestly, by the time we get to the end and they're playing darts, I really don't feel like Tangi Miller is into this. Like Tangi Miller.
Disagree.
Okay.
I would say by the end, I feel a whole lot better about Trevor. And I start to see what Elena's seeing in him.
I don't know how you got there. I am shaking my head.
Will go through it.
I guess we will.
Yeah.
I feel such a lack of chemistry between these actors and see no reason for Trevor. So for me, it's like, what a slog.
I mean, if they don't follow through and do anything with Elena's kind of revelation that perhaps, yeah, she's a bit too judgy. Like, does she need someone who's going to challenge her? Yes. Is this going to be her future husband? Unlikely. But I can see why there is some affection there between them. And he does have some positive attributes that Elena is missing. So for a temporary guy who she's got some kind of attraction to, Like, I start to get it by the end, but like, do I think they're good long-term, like, relationship partners? No. And I hope that's not where the show's going with it. But Elena at this point she's frustrated that he and I didn't know the answer to this question, and is just going to leave the room. And then we are going to go to an even sadder scene.
Yeah. Very
In
short.
a dingy hotel
Yeah.
hallway.
Noel just trying to get into a hotel room with Dana by his side.
Yeah, can't get the key to work.
Nope. Dana's like, here, I got this.
Yeah. And they just walk in the door, and it's just sad.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
It's not good.
No.
And you just know Ryan's somewhere in the city, just doing something.
He's probably at the loft, just chilling or having another cup of coffee somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah. So now we're going to go to a group dinner. So we've got Javier, Sean and Meghan, Felicity, Ben and Lauren, Trevor and Elena. That's our group.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to get a big, like, sort of one conversation bleeding into another dinner scene, which is probably where your notes became a mess.
Yes. But before that, Javier is going to get up and give a toast that I feel was specifically written to address 9/11. You know, he's talking about nothing lasting forever, and except for, you know, basically the love that we have for each other. So, let's just tricky ignore.
When you say specifically written to address 9/11, they probably filmed this many months ago.
I think they may have redone it.
They might have. I don't know. But the tricky thing about redoing it is that, do you bring Lisa Edelstein back?
Well, for the toast part, though, it's just Javier.
Yeah, it's so tricky because, like, any of this, like, I don't know how far into the season you would go. I mean, they don't film the whole season before they start releasing it, but they film a whole bunch of episodes, and then maybe it starts airing, and then, you're still filming. So I don't know how many episodes they got in before, like, that they had filmed before 9/11 happened.
I think they absolutely could have filmed this first, but I do feel like they also recut it and rewrote this, and it seemed so
I think it could go either way with this, because I didn't necessarily get that same vibe from it. I see how you did, and I don't know if it's because what he's really saying here is, this is potentially our last Thanksgiving together, and nothing lasts forever except our love for each other. And even though, we have some soap opera dramas, that shall remain nameless, we can still give thanks for each other. I think that message is a Thanksgiving message that could have been said regardless of what had happened, like, in terms of current events. And I think the current events add another layer to it. But I don't know. I'm not prepared to say for sure that they would have refilmed this or edited the speech even. I don't know. Could be.
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like a lot of shows did at that point in time. But I see how it fits both ways. His sort of, let's just put this all aside and give thanks for each other. And I don't know. It does. It works on both layers. So not necessarily.
Really know, like, for stuff that was airing, because we weren't really, like, we were in college just then, and we weren't really, like, necessarily sitting down and watching stuff real time. No, I wasn't.
But I have gone back and rewatched whole shows.
But so when you rewatch, I guess the question is, because immediately after 9/11, so obviously a whole bunch of shows probably skipped a week, maybe two. When they brought them back, they already had fully cut, edited material. So then if the tone, it's always clunky how do you get from something very sobering that happened in the real world to something that is entertainment? Maybe it's drama, maybe it's comedy. It's even more abrupt if it's comedy, because you really
Yeah.
have to address, like, we know this is happening in the world, and we also know we all just need a moment to like keep it light, and so you kind of have to
Yeah.
say something like that. So I guess the question is, do you remember what shows were doing, like,
Yeah.
were there title cards that they were putting up at the start of the
Um,
episodes, or like what
I
did they do?
remember a couple of different ways that shows dealt with this. Um, One was having like a pre-show,
Oh.
5 minutes to talk about it with like some member of the cast or multiple members of the cast. Another way that at least one show did it is they filmed a live episode and just stuck it in there.
Hmm.
There were other shows that like filmed, I don't know whether it would be a standalone episode or sometimes it kind of fit into the plot, but they stuck a whole nother episode
Jeez.
in. Um, some of the shows, when they skipped what they were going to do that week, I mean, a lot of them just did something else, like
Mm-hmm.
either an interview with the cast. You know, there were so many different ways that people thought about it. I feel like comedies took more time off. And when the comedies came back, not necessarily the sitcoms, but things like SNL, it's easier because it's live.
Mm-hmm.
And um, all of the late night shows kind of took a moment to say exactly what you just said.
I
Like,
mean, it's you
this
can
is a tragedy. We need a moment.
yeah,
We need our moments of levity
it's
in
easier to
this.
do that if you have like a live format where you can specifically talk to your audience and say, you
Yeah.
know,
For the
we get it,
ones that
it's weird,
were,
but let's do some comedy.
yeah, for the ones that were pre-recorded, that's what I remember is like
Yeah.
the intros, doing a live show, shoehorning like a whole episode that had just been recorded. And then there are certain shows like this, potentially, where I feel like they edited a couple of scenes and it's
I
like,
think the easiest thing to do for a pre-recorded show would be tacking on a brief message or a written card
I don't remember
or
any
like
of them doing a written card.
being seriously like diligent about that. Like, yeah, you may already have it in the can, but is there anything else you need to edit out of the final product that it maybe wasn't appropriate still? Maybe not putting other things in, but like editing out and then adding, an extra few minutes for like a message from your cast. I
Yeah, and
think
there
that would be the
were
most
some,
budget friendly.
yeah, there were some more on the action side who kind of put up, maybe that's the more card format. They would put up something that's like, we understand that this like touches on or might resemble some parts of events that were happening. We want you to know this was filmed ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them did that. There was one show, and I don't remember, I mean, obviously I don't remember what any of these were, but there was one show where they did an episode right after the explosion on the train in France.
Mm-hmm.
And that episode had an explosion on a
Oh,
train.
geez. Yeah.
Yeah. And they put a card up that said, like, we understand, like, this just happened. This was filmed months and months, like, written and filmed months and months ago. It has no relation to what actually just happened, except that, like, they kind of predicted, I mean, not predicted, but like, it was a very similar kind of situation. Like, oh, here are the vulnerabilities. Like, this could happen. And then it's like, well, actually, it just did.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. So, I mean, I guess that was a tangent, but the question was like this speech could have gone either way. Maybe they refilmed, maybe they didn't. I think it works on a couple different levels.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe they re-edited, or maybe it just,
mhm.
worked.
Yeah. So so we've got this big dinner setting, a whole bunch of people at it. So what we're going to sort of see happening throughout is that Ben and Lauren are going to be chatting kind of all throughout all of the other conversations in a very distracting way.
Yeah, Bennett
Um,
literally has his back turned on Felicity and is
yeah,
making direct eye contact with Lauren, and they're not talking quietly.
no, they're not. And so that's kind of happening the whole time. Elena's going to make a comment to Meghan that Trevor so far is 0 for 1 on the test. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Ben and Lauren are still chatting.
And Felicity
Um,
would like some gravy. I don't know why Felicity is down there at that end of the table. Like, she should be down at the other end with Javier. But
yeah,
apparently she's going to seat herself and Meghan right across from Ben and Lauren.
yeah, it's awkward for sure. So Felicity asks Ben to pass the gravy. She asks him a couple times, but he's distracted talking to Lauren and
But
possibly
she
ignoring
also,
her.
and she also doesn't ask very loudly.
Yeah. And Meghan's gonna be like, Ben, pass the gravy. Yeah, she's not into it. She's gonna be assertive here.
Yeah.
Um, Meanwhile, Elena's gonna try asking Trevor the second question. What is the capital of Washington? How would this be
Yeah.
on your essay?
Yeah, that part of it I agree. I'm like, I actually put Trev will figure out what's going on. Unfortunately, he actually doesn't. But um, yeah, here I I was like, I know it's not Seattle because Melissa used to live in Seattle, and I
Very
know
true.
it's not Seattle.
Correct. Although it's
But
probably what most people would guess.
I was like, I cannot name another city in Washington. I was like, it's not Portland, that's Oregon.
Yeah.
um,
I can
but
name a
I
lot of
can't even
cities in
name another city.
Washington, but I think most people would only be able to name Seattle, but it is in fact Olympia.
Yeah, who knows that?
People who live in Washington.
Apparently.
Yes.
But the only thing I
And
know
like maybe fifth graders.
yes. See, that's the thing. In like fourth or fifth grade, I would have known this. I would have been all over this.
Yeah.
But today, also US geography isn't the best for me because I have generally focused internationally, and I can give you much more information on, say, Sub-Saharan Africa or South and Central Asia than I can give you on Washington State.
Sure.
But I know there's Olympia Dukakis.
Well, that's how you remember. That is
Yeah,
going to be
from
your
now
way to do it.
on,
Yeah.
and be like, who is the capital of Washington? It's Dukakis.
Yeah,
Wait.
that's it. Yeah. So Sean is aware that it's Olympia because he's taken this test before, but he hasn't
Clearly.
put it together yet.
Also, how did Sean pass this test?
Well, he went to Harvard Business School summer
That's
program,
right. I
right?
forgot. Forgot.
Javier remarks about how boring this end of the table is.
Yeah.
He's not into this conversation. He's done with the trivia.
He'd like to talk about a sale. Nobody wants to talk about that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Felicity continues to be distracted by Ben and Lauren. She's visibly distracted, and Meghan's just in pain watching this. So she is going to loudly say to Lauren, "Hey, man, do you have a boyfriend?"
I thought this was interesting because we do get to find out about Lauren here.
Mm-hmm.
So Lauren says no, and Meghan just very loudly says, "Well, I've got this guy. I would love to set you up with him. He's great. He also is in AA."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Talk about awkward. Lauren is like, yeah, you know what? No, thanks. It was one of those really bad breakups. I was in love with this guy since high school. Meghan's like, oh, that was a long time.
Yeah.
Ouch.
She says she just got out of a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
And there are similarities, clearly, between what's going on with Ben and Felicity. And it's going to be interesting to see how Lauren plays out in this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know what happened, but she clearly has been through this type of breakup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
then Ben is like trying. Ben knows what Meghan is doing. Meghan, what is the problem? Meghan's like, oh, I think you know the problem.
I mean, Meghan is picking a fight with Ben at this point, and he's getting mad, and he is unfortunately going to crack and say something really mean.
Yeah, Sean is seeing that Meghan's picking this fight. He's like, Meghan, back off. He did nothing. Javier's like, anybody for some Yahtzee?
Yeah. Yahtzee.
Oh, so suddenly the boring conversation at your end of the table doesn't seem so bad now, does it? Felicity is going to offer, I don't know, a kindness or a reassurance coming off of what Sean just said. And he's like, you didn't do anything. She says that to Ben. Ben is in attack mode still. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Except waste the last year and a half of my life. Ooh.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah.
And Felicity just leaves. She just gets up and leaves.
Yeah. Ben's gonna leave after her.
I did not expect him to go after her, but he does.
I mean, it is a big thing to say. And I've heard people say this kind of thing about people they've dated after a breakup. And I have to say, I've even with friends, when I've heard them say this, I'm like, I don't know. Like, is there nothing to be gained from even a bad relationship? Like, is there nothing you learned? Is there nothing that, like, is it a waste? I can appreciate that there are moments where like, if you wanted to have kids and you feel like you burned a few important years of your, but also to say that something is a waste of your time, I also look at as sort of like a lack of imagination or human growth on this part of the person who is saying it. So it's like, yeah, it may have been a waste of something, but if you can't see any way to grow from this, that's on you.
But Ben clearly didn't mean this. He clearly just said it to hurt her.
I know.
This was not a serious statement.
And it did hurt her.
Of course it hurt her.
And
that's what it was meant to do.
Very sobering to him. It's just this really weird dance they're doing in this episode, a very understandable dance that they're doing in this episode, because she has to take these things on the chin if she wants any sort of repairing to happen with Ben. This is where he's at right now, and she has to kind of absorb it because she's earned it, to be honest. And she didn't earn that statement. I don't know.
I mean, maybe she did, but she is going to push back because, Ben's going to follow her. So it's just the two of them. And she's just basically going to say,
Fish, are we getting punked?
Why?
The first thing she says, I don't know how many more times I can say I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Try once.
Maybe we just didn't see it.
2 episodes ago, Noel comes to her and says, I told Ben.
Yeah.
Felicity looks down. Why?
Yeah.
Felicity has no interaction with Ben. That's the end of that episode. Next episode opens with Felicity at the chain link fence. Ben, will you just talk to me? Ben, just talk to me. Ben, will you just talk to me? No, go away. She goes away. Then she sits down with him at the restaurant. I was upset about my dad, and Noel and I were on the roof, and I don't know why I did it. And then she writes him a letter about icebergs. Are we being punked? How many times do I have to say I'm sorry? Sorry.
Once.
He says it just then. That's the first time, as far as I can tell.
I think
we
we
miss
have
a deleted
to
scene?
assume at this point that she has said she's sorry and we just haven't seen it, because that's what they're telling us.
Or that there was a deleted scene where they had an actual apology from her.
Maybe, yeah.
Because he also doesn't call her out on it here. Because she's like, how many more times do I have to say I'm sorry? I'm sorry. And then Ben's like, it's fine. She's like, it's clearly not. So he's also not saying, but you never actually said it until this second. I'm just the one who's niggling at this, I guess.
I just kind of accepted it because I was like, all right, like she should have said she's sorry. So maybe we just were supposed to assume that. I don't know. I don't know. But then she gets mad, and she kind of, this is her emotional reaction, right? She's like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Like, if you hate me, if this was such a waste of your life, why would you come? And I love Ben's reaction to this. He looks at her and he's just like, really? Like, you don't know? Like, you don't know? Like, he leaves so much unsaid right there, which to me was, I'm here to see you. I'm still in love with you.
Aww.
Like, all the stuff is right there on the surface for him.
And what he says,
he can't say it.
Yeah, what he says doesn't match the look, which is, it was a mistake.
Yeah. No idea where I came.
Yeah. And so he's going to leave. Felicity's going to leave the room.
And we are going to get sad Felicity music.
What happened? We didn't have it for so long.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're like, oh no, we have that music. Yeah. We should use it more.
Like every scene for the
3 times an episode, every episode.
God.
What on earth?
And then comes my favorite scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of a 2-parter. Part 1, we're in the loft. We're looking at Ryan, who's scooping out some sort of leftover food from a container.
I thought it might be a muffin.
It might be a muffin. It would look like a baked good that was sitting on a... Yeah. Because,
he's about to take off because
somebody didn't eat him.
At the restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I would like you to think for just one moment here.
Okay.
Ryan receives a phone call.
Yeah.
How?
Okay. I see your point.
Mm-hmm.
Good question.
To me, I'm getting some sort of really twisty, bendy foot action with I don't know. I feel like there's a contortionist Noel.
And your mileage may vary on which version is more embarrassing. Noel couldn't contort himself to reach the phone because he's handcuffed to the what's the word I want? Headboard?
Mm-hmm.
And he just had to shout as loud as he could to anybody who was passing by in the hallway until some kind soul got hotel management.
But if hotel management came, why wouldn't they just call a locksmith and leave Ryan out of it?
Well, maybe Noel realized because when Ryan gets there, there's already a guy there ready to unlock the handcuffs. So
Yeah.
I don't know if Ryan called that person or the hotel manager did.
Well, someone's got to
Somebody
pay
has
the
the
guy,
front
and
desk.
Noel has no money and probably no clothes. So maybe Ryan also had to bring him clothes.
Yeah.
So maybe they all just kind of came at the same time.
So we've got a couple working theories here. Hard to say which
Hmm.
was which. Um, Ryan is going to enter the hotel room presumably first, like
Yeah.
the first person who's not Noel to have entered this room. Noel realizes how awkward the situation is because he's completely naked, handcuffed to this bed. He like somehow knocks a lamp onto himself to cover him.
That could have
Um,
gone horribly wrong.
can you imagine if he electrocuted himself somehow?
I mean, I was just thinking burn, but sure.
Okay. So there's a guy outside. I guess he's just the locksmith, right?
I think so.
He's waiting for Ryan to sort things out. Ryan's going to take the lamp off of Noel and cover him with a sheet. And then
And close the
he's
door so that the two of them can have a little talk. Because
just
Noel
a
ain't going
little one.
anywhere.
Yeah. Ryan, I don't know how much time he really wants to give to Noel at this point, but Ryan's miffed and he's like, so what happened? Why was I just waiting for you? Like, why did you make me wait? What was going on just now? Noel's like, just casually like, well, you met this woman at a bar, came back here, she robbed me.
Like you do.
Like, tales old as time. And
Yeah. Ryan's going to lose it. He's like, what is the matter with you?
because Nola's still being so casual about all this.
Yeah.
It's infuriating for Ryan. He can't. What is the matter with
And he just
you?
leaves. He just takes off. And he's like, here, like, you deal with him. He must have prepaid the locksmith. I love
Or
the locksmith in this.
something. Yeah.
He walks in and he pulls out, the universal key or whatever he's using to get the handcuffs open. And he just has this smile on his face and it's so awkward. It is so, so awkward. And
But
he's just like,
this
don't
guy is
worry.
just like all day, every day. Like even on
I,
Thanksgiving, I'm here to
you
help poor
know,
saps like you.
I
Um,
mean, he just looks at Noel and says, don't worry. It's not going to hurt. And he
yeah,
like shows him the key. Just like, oh my God.
yeah.
Noel, if this doesn't get you to realize anything, like I don't know what to do for you, man.
If this isn't rock bottom for Noel, I hesitate to see what is.
Look,
Um,
here's the thing about rock bottom. People always say like you can't get help until you hit rock bottom. Here's the deep dark secret about rock bottom. You can always keep digging.
mhm.
Like rock bottom is when you decide to turn around and try to get out of the hole. Like you can
Rock bottom is really
always
like a
keep.
flat surface that could go on for quite some time. So my theory is like you can bounce along rock bottom or like slither along it for a while.
Well,
Um,
I kind of think of it as like you're digging a hole until you hit rock bottom and you just keep going down and down and
okay.
down. It's like you can keep digging. Like it might get harder, but like, pull out a drill if like pickaxe, like you can keep going.
Hmm.
Industrial machinery sometimes is necessary. So the thing is,
Listeners, what's your
Noel,
visual on rock bottom? Walk us through how you conceptualize it. Okay, thanks.
yeah,
Yeah. One other thing that Ryan said here, after he says, "What's the matter with you?" He's like, "So instead of being with me, you picked up a woman at a bar."
yeah, yeah, he's pissed. He's like, I came all the way out here,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Okay. So there's that. And then we're going to go to a walk and talk on the street scene between Lauren and Ben. Um, let's face it, like Ben just used Lauren. So
100%.
And Lauren, she's smart. She knows that. But she's being very lenient here. And
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean, that's
she
the
gets the
thing.
complexity of it.
I really like Lauren in this episode. I've actually liked Lauren so far. Um, you say it's coming, so I'm sure it's coming. But she's being very supportive. She's like, "Hey, what's Thanksgiving without a fight? I mean, this is just part of the experience." And Ben's
Mm-hmm.
like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah." I mean, she's basically like, "My whole family were alcoholics. We
And
always
he
fought. It was great."
apologizes for the fight. Like she's saying all this because he said, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily saying I'm sorry I used you, but he's like, I'm sorry about the fight. She's like, look, I see that you and Felicity have kinks to work out here. Call her. And they
Yeah.
part. This made me think because I think I might have, I don't know if I mentioned or theorized this with you episodes ago or not, but how sometimes when they bring a new character into a show, like they don't necessarily just say, you're in for the whole season. Like
Yeah.
contractually, they might say, you've got 2 episodes or you've got 3 episodes. So the actor comes in thinking, I've got 2 episodes on this show. I've got 3 episodes on this show. And then sometimes it works out really well, or the actor is giving them so much, or the writers have so many ideas that they end up extending that character. And there are shows where people who were supposed to do like 2 or 3 episodes end up becoming series regulars, that you just assume that was the plan forever. When I look at the Lauren stuff, have we seen her in 2 episodes, 3 episodes?
3. I think this is the
This
third.
might be 3. It feels to me like they could have ended her character right here. It feels like we have this button in this conversation where maybe they hired her for 3, they closed out her story ish, and then they bring her back.
Hmm.
Not bring her back after a long time, bring her back like they extend her contract and then find a way to extend her story.
I
Because
could
this
see
felt like
that.
a real button.
Yeah, I mean, the only thread that I do think is interesting and I would like to continue to see it pulled on is this long-term relationship that she just got out of and how she is saying to Ben, look, I get what's going on with you and Felicity, and her being the person to say, call her, and to be that force of, work this, like work out whatever it is you need to work out, like get together, don't get together, whatever, but like where you are right now is not a good place. Like
Yeah.
up until this point, I have seen her as being an advocate for his father, as pretty much, you know, delivering wisdom and life experience and being helpful. And Ben reacts. He's like, yeah, maybe I should call her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, so I like up to now, I like Lauren.
Give her a minute. I
Yeah.
um I agree. I think that if what they did here was say we've got her for 3 episodes, let's make her contribute. They
Mm-hmm.
did it. And if in the next episode we start to see the beginnings of her next arc,
Hmm.
then I guess that will be sort of like proving the theory, maybe. I don't know. I don't have
Yeah.
a way to prove this exactly because I'm not looking at contracts in front of me, but
No, but I
this
do I do see it. Like,
what you're seeing, what you like about her is and what they seem to have opened up for her as a character is all there. And then at some point they're gonna go, we need to give her something with some meat on its bones. And they
it
pick the
has
wrong
so
freaking thing.
much, but she already has a lot of stuff with meat on its bones.
Sure. That's just not any of the things they pick.
Uh,
Yeah.
you know why though? It's
Why?
because Meghan puts a hex on Lauren, so
Damn
that's
it.
why it happens.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what happens, but I'm guessing that's why.
Yeah, it won't be too long before I spoil it all for you. Don't you worry. I can't remember exactly how many episodes, but I'd say within a few episodes, you'll know the rest of the season based on me.
You won't be able to hold it in. It's not going to be
it
Ruby's
will be
baby.
impossible. Yeah.
Okay.
So for now, we're going to go back to the apartment. Meghan is going to put that hex on Lauren. Except I accidentally wrote in my notes that Meghan was going to put a hex on Meghan because I was writing without thinking. Wouldn't that be crazy? I'm putting a hex on
Meghan.
That spell worked out so badly. The Spice Girls aren't back together. Thanksgiving was such a bust. I'm just gonna hex myself.
Meghan wouldn't give up like that.
Sometimes we make such delightful mistakes in our notes, or at least I do.
I absolutely.
Gosh, that was wonderful.
Elena and Trev are going to continue the ridiculous testing by asking the next question that, of course, would come up on a med school application. When is the winter solstice? Now, I, at this point, was like, well, it's got to be sometime in December. It's winter. I know it's the shortest day of the year. Do I know the date? No. You know who does know the date?
I also feel like, is this always the same answer? Because I wanted to say anywhere between December 20th and 22nd. I'm not 100% sure it's the same exact day every year.
Could be. I don't know about like how much leap year kind of factors in.
I don't know. I know that so summer solstice in Seattle, there is a parade, the solstice parade, which is anywhere from like June 20th to maybe June 23rd, probably in that range. And it is not the same. I don't think it's the same day every year, but it might be that the parade always has to be. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's just that they always have to have the parade on a weekend. But the parade is it is, your classic parade with people dressed up, but most of the people are biking naked, wearing body paint.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Nothing about that sounds
wild.
Comfortable.
It is absolutely wild.
I'm just saying, everyone, please clean your bikes after that.
Right. I mean, everything you're thinking is like, it is quite the spectacle. I don't know how this started because it is actually like a punishable offense to be like it is public what is nudity or like just like a public display or like indecent, I don't know what it is.
Indecent exposure.
Indecent exposure is probably what you'd call it. That's what the whole parade is. Because it's a parade
and it's in okay. Seattle.
And the cops help facilitate it.
Okay.
What? Yeah, that's it. So
anyone who doesn't want to see schlongs, go inside.
And if you do, this is where you go. Yeah. The biking question though is, God, it's gotta be so uncomfortable. But anyway.
I can't imagine.
It's rough. So Sean knows the date, but then he's like, hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the test? And he looks
Megan's like, shut up.
Yeah. And he explains, like, this is a test to see if you're smart enough to date. He's filling Trevor in. Elena is busted. Megan's like, well, clearly you're not smart enough.
I still don't know how, I mean, I do not buy that Sean knew the answers to these questions.
Yeah. Felicity is going to come into the room holding mommy, just making weird noises.
Yeah.
And Javier's going to go ahead and take her home to Samuel. Trevor's going to leave. Elena's going to follow him.
Yeah, kind of feel like Trevor leaving is appropriate. Like, being upset about this is not I don't think that would be
Fair.
unusual.
Yeah. Yeah. Sean's going to offer Felicity some pie, which she will accept.
A whole pie.
Yeah.
Not so much some as almost an entire.
So Trevor and Elena are now in a separate room, and he's like, "So you're trying to prove I'm an idiot? Is that what's happening here?"
Yeah. I mean, he's mad. And he's like, sorry, I'm not as smart as you. And I don't do good in English. Oh,
Yeah.
Trevor.
Yuck, 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 yuck. Your basic English grammar joke.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So Elena's like, no, I mean, it's not bad. I'm just trying to see if we're right for each other. And he's like, I've got your answer to that. Hard
And he
no.
just leaves.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
And then we get an entrance of a Benjamin who is walking with purpose.
Sure is. Meghan's dressing him down a little.
He's just ignoring her.
Yeah. Ben's gonna ask Felicity,
Fact.
can I talk to you for a second? What do you think
Yeah.
the count is at this point? How many
I'm
can I talk to
going.
you for seconds?
Okay,
Have we
so
heard?
we are 8 episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
I would guess 8 because I think there have been some episodes where we haven't had one, but I think there have been episodes where we have multiple.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess it's around 8 at this point.
But at this point, across all seasons,
Oh, I just meant
over
this
under on 60.
Oh, under. For all
Under?
seasons?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's that much because the first couple, they didn't have that many. It's like they picked up on it as a joke. Really, in the third season, I feel
Okay.
like it really ramped up.
All right. That's fair. Hey,
But
listeners,
I
fun
mean,
project.
yeah. Anybody want to go back and look for
Count up
all of
the can I
those?
talk to you for seconds?
And I would say the ones where it's "Can I talk to you?" where the "for a second" is implied also may
Yeah.
count.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but they're just, Ben tells Meghan to shut up and she actually shuts up, which, is a minor miracle. And
She's excited that her spell's going to work. She's going to let this thing play out. Yep.
but Ben and Felicity are going to leave Meghan and Sean in this room together watching a movie, and I again marvel at the decorations. I mean, it's just such a cozy, look, yes, there was a pilgrim on the wall and Sean had a pilgrim hat, not good.
Yeah.
But generally, the decorations are twinkly lights and like gourds and leaves, and I am okay with all of that. I am enjoying it.
Nice. Okay. Well, we know that fish loves holiday decorations, and you got your fill of them in this episode for
I
sure.
did, and the Halloween episode. I got enough.
Well,
I'm happy.
Done. Well, Felicity and Ben are going to have a conversation in her room. She's going to close those curtains, and good thing she does. And Ben came back to say, like, I'm sorry I brought her. Felicity is still taking him on the chin. She's trying to be gracious. She says, it was a nice thing to do. Ben says, sure, but it's not why I did it. When somebody hurts you, you want to hurt them back. And he says, but no matter how mad I look at you, no matter how mad I am, I want the hurting to stop.
And unfortunately, even your Cynic at this point got a melty heart.
Oh my God.
Heart melty.
Yeah. He's just like, can we end this crazy cycle that we're going through right now? Is pretty much the plea. So he starts to walk away, and Felicity's like, she sits down. She's like, stay 5 minutes.
Music. I wrote down the music didn't completely ruin the scene, but it could have been better.
Could have been better.
Also, I'd like to give this an award because after Ben sits down on the bed, I actually stopped taking notes to watch the scene. First time. I mean, other scenes I've gone back and rewatched, but I actually just stopped taking notes to watch this scene. So it is the award of the scene that made me stop taking notes.
Yeah. The first note that I wrote here, and this is maybe not a romantic note to write, is Ben sucked back in.
What?
Um,
Please explain.
then he sits, then he reaches for her hand, then they kiss, then they have sex. So,
Oh, like
like,
he breathed
he's
in.
no, no, no. He's sucked back in to the vortex of this relationship with Felicity.
Oh,
So I guess, I don't know, that's what I wrote in my notes, right? So like my feeling was like, okay, is this a romantic scene? It is, but also partly because I knew that he was going to, like, in this moment watching this, I already knew that he was going to then get up and think that this was not something he should have done later.
but the thing is, I thought that too. I like
Okay.
100% when he sits down and he initiates this hand holding, he initiates the kissing, and a little bit in, you get this like desperation of Felicity just to pull him like even closer. Like she grabs onto him.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, no way is this them getting back together. Like
Yeah. But in
he's
this moment, I feel
definitely.
like he got sucked back in. Like he's looking at her face. She's like, sit down 5 minutes. And he's like, oh, and he's like magnetized to her.
But that, so I can only call you out on this because I am in fact the cynic. That is a very cynical way of looking at this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can only consider it being sucked back in if you assume it's not going to be different. If it's not like fated love, or if it's not something that they're going to work out and each of them is going to change, and this is growing pains, and this is a
Yeah.
sign of, the start of forgiveness. And, there is a much more rosy way to think about this. Not
There
that I
is.
would.
I think the other angle is to say that he's not ready for this to be the beginning of something new.
That is
Like,
more what I felt.
yeah.
Like I just felt there's no way. Like this is him maybe trying, like, I mean, kind of what he says later, like trying to feel better, reconnecting, like maybe he thought this would work. And I was like, oh, this is just going to hurt because he's going to have sex with her. And then he's going to, like, they're not going to be back together.
Yeah. It's tough, right?
Yeah. But his words in this scene were heart melting.
Okay.
And he also had great hair.
Well, there you go. So we're going to go into the kitchen. Elena, Meghan, and Sean are there. Meghan and Elena are debriefing over the test. I think it's like, oh, Trevor got a 0 out of 3. And Elena's like, oh, maybe it's okay. Um,
Well, she goes a little farther than that. She's like, you know what? Maybe Trevor's right. Maybe this test isn't the thing that I should be using to gauge my relationship on. And she starts listing his good qualities. And Meghan, being Meghan, is like, well, oh, I mean, hey, if, fun, funny, dumb guys are your thing, go for it.
yeah.
And I actually think she's saying that completely seriously and without judgment. Like she's not
Hmm.
really thinking about Elena in that moment.
Yeah.
She's just like, hey, if that's your thing, like, do it.
And my question is, are fun, funny, dumb guys Elena's thing? I would think
In
no.
So number one, long term, no. Short term, maybe. Number two, these are not his best qualities. We have not yet seen his best quality, but we will by the end of this episode.
Okay. All right. Said by a Christopher Gorham stan.
Yes.
So Javier is going to enter the scene because he just heard the news. Are they back together?
Well,
They've
but
been
we
in
have to
this room for
remember,
over an hour.
yeah, but we have to remember Samuel went home. So when he re enters the scene, he's re entering after having gone home.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, well, here's the thing about that. So Javier comes back in. He's holding mommy. He's like, I left Samuel for good. And was it Meghan who was like, don't you do that every week? I think that was a
I
real
think
meta
so.
moment for the show because
Yeah.
he does.
I mean, we've
Um,
only seen Samuel 2 or 3 times, and one of them it was a different Samuel.
Yeah, and like this whole season, it's been about Javier leaving Samuel. Like they went to a Lionel Richie concert because he left
Yeah.
Samuel. He like there's been a lot of these moments.
He
Um,
holds plants because he has to leave Samuel, and now he's holding a cat.
yeah, and this time, you know, why is the last straw here was that Samuel didn't care that mommy was sick. And that is just beyond the pale. So but having said all that, knowing that Ben and Felicity might be back together is making him feel all warm and fuzzy. And
Yeah.
mommy's warm and fuzzy too, so that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And and Sean just walks by and he's like, yeah, yeah, they're getting back together again. And it's just, it's the same scene over again where everyone not in the room with them knows they're having sex
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Only this is a sadder version of that.
This is the sadder version of that because it's not actually happening. Well, we're going to head another sad situation is Ryan's car, which has a ticket on it because they did not interpret the signs correctly.
$50. That is a lot at that point in time.
Okay.
Like, what
Well,
was
he
it?
did something real bad. Okay.
Parked on a holiday
Sure.
in a confusing sign zone? No, come on. I don't
Um,
I don't buy it.
so Noel is going to approach because if he was going to find Ryan in one place, he might as well check to see if the car's still there. And Noel comes up and he's like, yeah, think you're right. I'm gonna call mom. Not doing great.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Ryan, I don't know. I'll give sort of an olive branch here. Well, you know, it's hard not to be with the one you love. And Noel's like, you know what? That's not this. I know what that feels like. And this is more than that. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah. And Ryan is going to share, a little of his own experience here. He's going to talk about their father,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to say a lot of this without saying the word depression, and then eventually he's going to say the word depression.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of slip through all the stuff and just say, Ryan basically says, look, dad was depressed and I'm depressed, and it's probably genetic.
Yeah.
So maybe you're depressed. And Noel gets real uncomfortable with this.
At the point,
Yeah.
like, and Nolan's letting Ryan go for a while up until Ryan puts it on Noel. So
Right.
he's like, you know, maybe you remember these signs, this mood, this black cloud that was hanging over the house with dad. And also, you might find it interesting that I also sometimes get so depressed that I can't get out of bed. And maybe that's what's going on for you. And that's the point where Noel, like, it's like Noel can have oh yeah, like he can hear these stories and he can be like, yeah, that checks out, that checks out. But then the moment it feels like a judgment on him, he's like, I'm not depressed.
Yeah. I mean, there is still a huge stigma attached to any issues of mental wellness.
Mental healthness, though, is also
Mental
a very
wellness
interesting
also,
term.
yeah. Uh, and I feel like when I talk to people, you know, one generation up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is something they're very, very uncomfortable with. I think we've gotten a little bit more comfortable with mental health, and we do at least now have, physical and mental health parity as policy for insurance companies. But I don't think that I still think there's a huge stigma attached to it. And
Mm-hmm.
you see that in Noel, where
Yeah.
he laughs, he's uncomfortable, he denies it immediately. And Ryan gets it. He
Yeah.
probably had to go through this too, and he just very
Ryan kind of rolls
gently,
with that. He's being gentle here. He's like, well,
yeah,
look, I talk to somebody, it helps me. You're a good person. And
yeah,
he's not taking it the next step saying you should talk to somebody. He's just saying I talk to somebody and it helps. And
yeah,
I think that's probably the most effective way for him to break through with Noel on this.
100%.
And I guess this is my note from an optimist. I think it's good to see that the show is, from this point, how the show handles and talks about mental health is a little 2001, 2002. But they're talking about it. And I think that's really good. And I love that they have a scene like this where Ryan's being so gentle with Noel, and maybe that also translates to being gentle with the audience. Like maybe there's somebody watching this show who needs Ryan to talk to them. And so, like, to normalize this idea of maybe there's something to address here, and there are ways to do that. And you know what? People address things a little different. Like there's more than one way to address this stuff. But I think to have somebody come in and just say, hey, Noel, like, I'm noticing things are a little different for you. We've been noticing that as watchers, watching Noel go through the first, however many episodes of season 4. He's not been himself. Mm-hmm. And to have his brother come in and say, nor are you being yourself with your family, and you're isolating yourself, and, it would appear that you're being ostracized by all of your so-called friends.
And there's a genetic component to this. This is not a judgment on you as a person.
Yeah. It's like, and you've got a lot of behaviors that you've done recently that don't seem like you. And it seems like you're struggling. Like, and that's in our family, very normal.
Mm-hmm. I thought this was a very nice moment between the two of them.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote. That it was just a nice moment.
And I like that the nice moment between the two of them could also be coming through the screen to be a nice moment for somebody watching it.
Yeah.
If they needed it.
I agree.
Not every nice moment on the show translates to that, but I think this is one that had a potential power to reach a broader audience.
Especially considering that it's between two guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we're much more likely to see this between women, and both portrayal and actual number of diagnosed cases, because women feel more comfortable in coming forward with some mental health issues. And, I do think there's more stigma attached to it with men even today. So, yeah, I agree. I think this is a good moment for everyone all around. And I like that it will eventually, actually very soon, kind of sink in a little bit with Noel and move him to action.
Yeah, Noel's gonna apologize, about Thanksgiving. And Ryan and him leave on good terms.
Yeah, he says, I love you. Ryan says, I know.
Call Mom. Yeah. So we're going to go to the pub. That's where we'll find Trevor playing darts.
Yep, he's drinking in the bar. And this scene to me is the best Trevor scene we've had.
Okay.
Elena's going to come in. Trevor is hurt. And she's going to show him her med school application and basically say, all I've ever done is study. I don't have any extracurricular activities. I forgot to have a life in all of this. And grades and, trivia facts aren't everything. But it's all I have, and I'm the stupid one.
Mm-hmm.
And Trevor, if we remember earlier, when Trevor had to come back and ask Elena for the tutoring again when she was mad, she made him grovel. Trevor doesn't do that. He hears her, and once he understands that she's not actually continuing to attack him with her fantastic grades, he gives her a suggestion. He's like, you should write about your tutoring. You're really good at that. You don't make people feel stupid, usually. And he is incredibly forgiving and easygoing. He just immediately, he's like, she's apologized. And he's like, you know what? You tutor me in chemistry. I'm going to tutor you in darts. He smiles. He puts his arm around her. He starts, showing her how to play darts. And that's where I can see what she sees in him. There are so many people on this show where forgiveness is so hard. And Elena is a hard person. She wouldn't have forgiven him if he had done something like this. And so to me, I think this is his best quality that we've seen so far. His ability to move on and not to dig the knife in, not to ask more of her, and to just be who he is and to be comfortable with who he is. He's like, yeah, I'm not the smartest. I knew that before I met you. And he's comfortable with himself. I mean, yes, he has his downsides, but this is actually a really great characteristic to have.
Yeah, sure. He's got forgiveness. I'll give you
And
that.
self-acceptance and being easygoing. And, in that moment where he's got his arm around her and he's smiling and she's leaning in on the dart playing, I'm like, all right, I see a little spark. It's not Tracy.
Not. So I think I needed, as they close out of that episode, what I was feeling was Elena does not belong in this environment. She looks really out of place. With his arm around her, she laughs. She throws the dart. She looks really proper. She laughs, and it seemed really forced to me.
See, for me, it felt like, you're right, this isn't her normal place. And I think him putting his arm around her is like trying to, I don't know, almost not have her be accepted, but like show her the other side. She's just come to him and said, I didn't have a life. There are these things that I wish I had. And he's like, well, here, let me show you. And I think it seems comforting and kind. So I don't know. We had different opinions on this.
We sure did. We have very opposite opinions on this. I just don't feel any chemistry between Christopher Gorham and Tangi Miller as like actors. So this after the most bizarre test, after this premise that Elena is going to have this rebound relationship with the guy that she doesn't think is at her level. And then we spend a whole episode trying to prove that this guy's too stupid for Elena. And you can have whatever arguments you want to have with whether or not this test actually proves that. But then they give him so much life experience. Like, they're also showing us that he's not speaking grammatically well. And like, he's like, they're trying to give us as many, like, he's not really picking up on this being a weird test to be on an application. Like, they're showing us and they're telling us the point that they're trying to make about his character. And if they were going to cut through all of that to try to get me to believe that this is a good pairing, these two need to have a lot more chemistry than what I feel like they have.
I think for me, I feel like it's a script. In the last episode, I felt like it was a direction problem and a bit of a script problem, because it was like, the kiss was weird. I fully admit that. It was like cut to weird ass kiss. In this one, I felt 2 times that they did have chemistry. When he brought the flower in and she smiles and they end up on the bed, but then the dialogue kicks in and she's asking this question and it just throws the chemistry out the window. But they started to have it. And I feel in this last scene that they do have it. it's just, I don't know where they're gonna go from here. I feel like as actors, they definitely have chemistry. Like when you get to the end of the first kiss, I feel like there definitely was some chemistry there. It's just they're setting them up in such weird ways. And again, it's not Tracy chemistry. And
it's not even DeForest chemistry.
It's not DeForest chemistry, but I would just say it's different. I don't think Elena really had chemistry with DeForest. I actually felt more uncomfortable about that and her trying to like force it there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I I don't think, I mean, this may be what the show is trying to say, but I kind of feel like they're not trying, like, the point, I didn't take away the point that Trevor is too stupid for Elena from this. What I took away is, hey, maybe Elena needs to reevaluate, at least in the short term, what good qualities are and maybe expand her worldview. And this is the guy to do it with.
Not sure that she's going to do that.
She may not, but that's how I read this, as opposed to them just hammering like he's too stupid, he's not good enough. In this episode, I felt Elena is the one who's not good enough for him. He's actually the one with all the positive attributes.
Spoken like a true Christopher Gorham stan.
I mean, yeah, I'm a Christopher Gorham fan. I haven't been a Trevor fan up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what they've given us in the writing. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. We'll definitely ask listeners to weigh in. What do you think? What do you think about this dynamic?
Yeah.
Tell us. But before we get there, so we've got a scene with Noel. He's on a couch alone, maybe in the loft.
It looks like he's in the loft. There's like eventually we get a sort of overhead shot. I think he's like right below where Sean's room is.
Okay. So he gets out the universe. He's thinking, he gets out the university directory. There's a song that starts playing right now that I heard the line, "I don't know how to turn this life around." It's kind of have like a country-ish vibe.
I had the same music.
And then Noel is going to leave a voicemail for Pavone, who basically is a colleague right now, given that he's still a guidance counselor. And so he leaves this voicemail for Pavone asking for a referral. Because definitely can't go to Pavone.
I don't know why not.
I don't know. I think
could.
I don't know. If you're Pavone, I guess I don't know where conflicts of interest sit with therapists, but like how much of an earful has Pavone gotten about Noel from Felicity,
Oh, I mean, there's family therapists who deal with the entire family and then have separate sessions with different family members. I think it's probably more of an issue of insurance. Like, is she only there for students, or are faculty members also able to take advantage of her services? And my guess would be faculty members would also be able to take advantage of her services.
Yeah.
If she's there for the university, why wouldn't they?
If you're Noel, I don't know that you want to be going to the person who Felicity and Ben have gone to in the past. Like, that just feels like start fresh, like find somebody with none of the baggage. I don't know.
I mean, if she's a good therapist, she shouldn't have any baggage.
Yeah. I don't know. So Felicity wakes up in her room. Ben's getting dressed to leave.
Yep.
As we all probably saw coming. Ben's like,
yep.
Yeah, this was a mistake. I thought I could forget about things, but I can't.
Music. I like that we both have exactly when the music comes in.
I love you. You know, if this had happened a year ago, I would have understood and felt like I deserved it, but I don't. I don't deserve it.
That is a heartbreaking sentence for him to have
Uh,
said. Um, on the one hand, I think it's great that he doesn't feel this way anymore. But I also think, like, her sleeping with Noel wasn't about him. And so he's right. He doesn't deserve it. He shouldn't have understood it a year ago. Um, and I still don't think he understands it now because she can't say what the truth is again, right? She
Noel's
can't,
in the drawer.
right. Like she can't say that. Um, so,
Yeah.
you know,
Um, she says, I know. I mean, I guess, you know, him articulating, I don't deserve it. I still think there's this sort of tension that he feels, even though we saw this last episode, but we didn't see it this episode with his mom coming back into town, with his mom being around his dad. It's not the last we've seen of his mom or his dad. So that's, you know, in theory, that's still kind of happening in the background here. This idea that, like, okay, his mom and dad are getting back together. Is that a good or a bad thing? Am I happy about that, or am I feeling like that's a really sad story? You know, like, is is this a story of forgiveness and love conquering all, or is this a story of a woman who's been abused by her husband continuing to go back to her husband and
I
her husband,
think
you know, like,
he's in the second camp. And this is what I was saying last time about he needs to be able to separate his relationship with Felicity from his mother's relationship with his father.
yeah. And you know, we haven't seen that in this episode, so maybe it's unfair for me to place that onto this speech, but I feel like it's got to be there a little bit because I think he's torn between this. I'm supposed to be forgiving Felicity. That's like the thing I should be doing. I wish I had the strength to figure out how to forgive Felicity like I'm supposed to do, versus this was a mistake. You did a thing that hurt me and I don't deserve to be hurt like that. And like, I just feel like there's this push and pull between what he is actually supposed to be doing, let alone what he wants to do.
Thanks.
Because I think what he wants to do is get back together with her. I mean, I think the very fact that he felt drawn to her enough to get sucked back in and like sit down beside her for 5 minutes, that turned into a lot longer than that.
At least an hour.
At least, you know, and then they fell asleep. So I don't know, he obviously he feels drawn to her. And if
He
this was,
says he loves her.
yeah, if it was just about what he wanted, then probably he'd be getting back together with her. But I think there's this whole like ethical dispute that's happening for him right now.
Well, I also think there's what you want, and then there's what you can actually handle. And I agree with what you said earlier about he's not ready. And you know, Felicity's response is, I know, but not taking responsibility, not saying you never would have deserved me cheating on you. Like, you were still a good and deserving person a year ago. Like, to me, I'm like, how are you, like, how is that not on the top of, you know,
I guess it's
your
a
tongue?
nod to Avery, you know. I guess it's a nod to rewind to the fight that they all had with Noel and Avery and Felicity and Ben in the main room of the loft, where Avery's smiling to herself and cackling with glee, and Noel's like, you slept with Avery, and actually that's not what happened, or
Yeah.
you know, and I
Okay, I
think,
didn't really think about the Avery of it all. I was thinking more that he felt like, you know, he didn't have direction, he didn't deserve Felicity, but now he's got direction and he's, you know, he did all of that stuff earlier to kind of improve himself to get back together with her, and like he still feels like he wasn't good enough then, but he's done the work to be good enough now. When, I mean, if it's just about Avery, then I understand.
Maybe
But
that's
if
what they were
it's,
referencing here. I don't know. I mean, I think even in that situation, he finds Noel's breakup kit. He's like, what is this? A breakup kit? What's going on here?
yeah,
I don't know that how lenient he really would have been in that situation had Felicity been with Noel then.
yeah,
But I think he's trying to say now, like, I guess I could have at least understood what would have prompted you. Like, I would have actually done something that was hurting you where you would have wanted to do this.
yeah.
I don't
But
know.
he does say, I'll call you. So it's not like, all right, this was a mistake. Now I'm going to go back to never talking to you again. I mean, I felt like it was a little weird that he said, I'll call you. I mean, what does that mean? They're friends now? I don't know.
I
I
think
felt
this
like,
reminded me of season end of season 1 where Julie's like, you know what? Don't call me. And I don't mean that in a bitchy way. I just mean I don't want to look forward to a phone call as awkward as this.
yeah,
Because they were so awkward in person when she went back to get her stuff. So I don't know, maybe he's
it's
just
just
says
what he
this stuff.
says.
Yeah. And
It's the Chandler effect when he always says, let's do it again. And then he will like never call the woman again. Yeah.
So I don't know, but there's obviously a lot more going on between Ben and Felicity here. So it's who's to say? But he's going to leave. Felicity's going to lay back down, and it's going to be oh so sad.
Yep, that's what I put. Felicity sadly lies in bed
Yeah.
on what looks like a really comfortable comforter. I mean,
Oh,
it looked really comfy.
nice. Well, Fish,
Yes,
tell me, do you have a you're the worst for this one?
I do, and I don't think you're going to like it.
Uh-oh. All right. So let's get into it. Into our you're the worst segment.
Yeah, so Elena, you're the worst. You made some mistakes. Your first mistake was taking advice from Meghan. Your second mistake was being so obvious about it and doing it in front of Sean. And your third mistake was not vetting the questions. Testing someone to see if they're smart enough for you is bad enough. But on Thanksgiving, really? You may have the higher IQ, but he clearly has a much higher EQ. You are lucky that he is so forgiving. You made him grovel. He forgave you right away. This is a very good quality and one you need, because this is not the first time that you've been the worst.
Elena, you're the worst. Well,
Yep.
okay. Fair enough. Um,
I have not made Melissa happy.
I
But you
mean,
know what? Last time we agreed,
no, I
this
mean, I
time we
don't think
didn't.
Elena's being kind to do this. I think if she thinks that Trevor's not good enough for her, then that is her answer, and she should not be playing these games.
Well, I also think to ever say someone's not good enough for you, I,
Sure, sure. And if you think that, that's your answer. Like that's just your answer. Like
but
there's
also
no
if you
working on
ever
somebody.
think,
There's no.
no, but if you ever think someone isn't good enough for you, you may think that they're not a good fit, but
Mhm.
to think that they're not good enough for you, I think automatically means you're not good enough for them. Because come on, that
Okay,
should never be a thought. Everyone's different. Everyone has their good qualities and their bad qualities, and no one is worth more than someone else.
sure.
So,
I mean, we're agreeing on this point. Like, I think it's all the different ways that you can look at it. And it's already signaling a problem. maybe more than one problem, and that's the answer. Like it's just,
I
why
was
play games
hoping.
like this? And like what's the end result of it, really?
Well, I was hoping in the last scene that what they were hinting at was she was going to feel differently and understand that maybe it wasn't all about grades and facts and
I
IQ
don't
and whatever.
think so. I don't think that we head that
Like a
direction.
little bit of personal growth on that side, maybe. Just a little bit.
I don't think that that's where her story heads, or his.
That's
Um,
unfortunate.
yeah, I think this is just like a sort of like Full Houseian, sort of like put your arm around your shoulder kind of like thing, where it's just like, let's have a nice speech at the end. But I don't think that this is going to be like, we're now going to chart this being this great relationship. I think
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
trying to
think it was
remember.
ever
I
destined
remember
as
more
a.
Trevor scenes, but I remember Trevor scenes with Ben.
Mm.
I'm
And I
trying to
never
think if
saw
I
this as like a great Tracy type love, but I definitely could see Elena getting some personal growth out of it.
not really.
All right then.
Um, don't think so.
Dash my
Um,
hopes and dreams. It's
yeah.
fine. I'm used to it.
Well, oftentimes this is our opportunity where we do our favorite segment, the after you listen to this tape, you have to erase it segment, where we bring in listener
Yay.
feedback. But we are a couple episodes ahead here, and we don't really have anything specifically tied to this episode.
Oh
Some stuff that's a
no.
little too just a little bit too far ahead, where it's a little too spoilery for today. So,
Sadness.
and while I'm not afraid of spoilers, all in their due time,
I mean, you said next few episodes, you're just going to spoil the rest of the season for me.
Pretty
So
much. I mean, like a major plot line. Yeah, we're getting very close. So, I can't remember how many episodes it's going to take before I can get there, but it's close. So, Fish, it's time for you and I to rate the episode. And last time you
I
went
went
first.
first.
So I will. So I have lots of options that I didn't want to do, but I decided to rate this one in stuffings with raisins, partly because I wanted to say stuffings, um, because there's multiple stuffings. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Stuffings with raisins. I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 10, because I think there's stuff that's really good in this episode. Like, I do think that the Lauren and Felicity and Ben stuff is really good. Um, I I think the Noel stuff is weird,
Mm.
but I guess I see a function for something so bizarre to happen that Ryan would be like, man, get a hold of yourself. Like Noel needs to really understand that he's not okay. Like he needs to have something jarring enough to happen that like he would actually go get help, and that somebody would tell him to. So I think it's a weird thing that he like meets this woman at a bar and gets robbed on Thanksgiving. But I guess good for him, like he needed this. So a little bit that's too weird for me, but mostly what this episode gets dinged for is everything about Trevor's plot line, Trevor and Elena, the test, and the piano music. Like,
Yeah.
it's just enough's enough with the piano music, but it's
Yeah.
not. They will continue to use the piano music.
Mm.
So many times. It's just not good. It's not good. It's not a good song.
It's not. It's really not.
And they're using it in this very all-purpose way. They can put it behind any character at any time for any reason, and it's like I don't get it. And there have been shows like, I know Lost, for example. I might have said this before. Lost, the composer on that show composed like theme music for each character, where when you'd see certain scenes with that character, you might hear this music underpinning it, but they have not been using this music consistently to resemble that. They just use it whenever they feel like using it. So I don't know what to tell you. So those are my things. I just unfortunately don't understand the value of putting Elena with Trevor. I don't see chemistry between those actors. And for everything that you want to see in terms of growth coming from this, I don't think they go there. So I think it's just like, I don't know where we're headed. And I don't know. I think this is a continuation of the problems that I've seen with how they write for Elena. They don't know what they're doing with Elena. There have been very few times in the show, now looking back across 4 seasons, there have been very few times with this show that I thought they fully understood what they wanted to do with Elena as a character. And most of the times when I did feel they understood were with Tracy.
Yeah.
And I guess McGrath, like that was a major thing that had multiple different types of ramifications for Elena. Those are, to me, her 2 major things. I would maybe, as a third thing, throw Blair into that. He was only around for a little. But also with that, it was a little sloppy. You bring in her best friend who's now transferred to this school, and you
can't figure out whether her name is Tara or Tara.
Can't decide how to pronounce her name. She sleeps with this guy, and then she's never at school again. So it was just so it was kind of sloppy because they had only hired those actors for so many episodes. And so that it's kind of an honorable mention. But I think if you're going to look at the absolute strongest Elena storylines, regardless of how you feel about them, we're looking at like McGrath, and we're looking at everything around Tracy. And as a character standing alone, they just don't know what to do. I don't know.
I mean, not many of the characters like really stay alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a show about relationships.
Sure is. It sure is. But I don't know. I think there was stuff to explore about her academic world that they never did. Unless it was in the context of Tracy or DeForest, or McGrath. So I don't know. I think it's a shame. But I'll go 7.5 out of 10. Stuffings with raisins.
Nice. So, sometimes there's just that extra thing about an episode or a person or whatever that makes you say, I'm giving it an 11 out of 10, right? And that happened last episode.
Right.
There's not much that I don't like about this episode, but it didn't have that. So we're starting, at like the highest it could get is a 10 out of 10.
Fair.
And it does get dinged for the music. My goodness. And for, reusing this potion and hex thing. I mean, thank goodness it like wasn't the only reason, and there was no nutmeg breathed in and all of that. So it doesn't get that dinged for it. But I liked all of the, Noel and his brother moments and how they're starting to deal with mental health. And, we know how I feel about the decorations. And I don't know what's going to happen with Javier and Samuel, like if this actually is a thing or not. But I'm interested to find out. I'm certainly glad that Tacky and Gammy weren't there, even though maybe those are not what Meghan called them. And as I've made clear, I enjoy this stuff between Elena and Trevor. I think it's really unfortunate if they don't continue it. That makes me sad. I think it makes complete sense that Ben would bring Lauren. I don't know if I 100% agree that Lauren would go. I guess that's the part. Once she finds out it's his ex's place, I kind of feel like she would have pulled out. So I feel like that was a bit of a stretch for me, but I understand why they did it. I really like the speeches that Ben gave and the from Javier. Yeah, as I said, there's not that much to actually ding it. The test was stupid. Fair enough. That was stupid. I didn't enjoy that. I don't think Elena would be that stupid. I don't think she would like give that test and think it has anything to do with her relationship. But you know what? We also saw her look at like breast enlargement, and you know, sometimes they just give Elena stuff that isn't Elena. I'm hopeful to see what happens about Noel. I'm a little worried about Felicity. This has got to really be a kick in the gut for her, at the end of this. So I don't know where she's going. And then we still have left over, what's going to happen with Zoe and her mental health state. So, I'm interested. They have piqued my interest, but it gets a major dinging for the music and the test. And yeah, I mean, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, that music, that was rough.
All right. So it's 8 out of 10 gloves.
Yes.
And 7.5 out of 10 stuffings with raisins. And the trend continues of me rating it lower this season.
Yeah.
Not by much this time, but still happened.
Let me tell you, that music really, really gets on my nerves.
Yeah. Well, just keep settling in because it's going to stay.
Yeah.
All right. Listeners, we want to hear what your thoughts are. So send us your feedback, your Felicity fan art. What do you think about Trevor and Elena? What do you think about, I don't know. What do you think about Lauren? What do you think about everybody? What do you think about Javier and Samuel just breaking up every week? I don't know.
Do you enjoy mommy cameos?
Yeah, all that. I think the answer to that is a resounding yes. We've had quite a bit of positive mommy feedback in the past, but we want to hear more is what we want. So write to us at themelissafish@gmail.com. Melissa with 1 L, 2 S's, themelissafish@gmail.com. Also, you can get into the conversation, hear what the people are saying, be part of it on our Instagram @Felicity Podcast. And if you want to know when we drop new episodes of the podcast, we send out a newsletter whenever we do. So you can sign up for that wherever you're listening to this podcast. Check your show notes and the link is there. And while you're doing it, if you can rate or review this podcast wherever you're listening to it, that would be a great fun thing to do. We love it when that happens and it helps more people find the show. So Fish, the next episode is called Moving On. What do you think that episode is about?
Well, maybe the Javier Samuel thing is real. I think that definitely could be part of it. I think Ben and Felicity are not together, so maybe Ben or Felicity tried to move on. I don't know which way Felicity's going to go, whether she's going to like also sink into depression or whether, Meghan and Elena are going to try to like get her out and like dating or something like that. Noel also has to move on, but my guess is he's going to do it through therapy, given that he just asked for a referral. So I think it's mostly going to be about Javier and either Ben or Felicity. And I'm just going to put this out there. I really, really hope that the arc of Lauren's new story is not that she starts dating Ben, because that would be super weird and not fitting with what she's doing now. And if the two of them start dating, that's just not going to be a plot line that I enjoy.
Okay. Well, all right. Those are the predictions. That's what you predicted.
You
predicted that.
That's what I predicted.
Congratulations. Your predictions happened.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're just going to have to see next time. Anything else you wanted to say about this one, Fish?
I mean, I am going to continue to say good things about Trevor unless I don't think they're good things to say, at which point I will continue to be harsh on him. I don't think it's just because I'm a Christopher Gorham fan.
I just don't know you'll have a lot of content to talk about with him.
Well then.
I'm looking at like future synopses and I just don't.
So this was it.
No, this isn't it. But I'm trying to think of Trevor Elena scenes, and any scenes that I'm thinking of in the future with him or with Ben. So I could just be forgetting about some stuff, but
or blocking it out on purpose.
This isn't necessarily like, it's not a content heavy relationship, but what do they do with Elena?
She just disappears.
I'm really like struggling to think of what's still to come for Elena. Okay, well, hopefully that'll become abundantly clear to us very soon. Because it's not even really fair to look at the episode descriptions, because how often do they not mention Elena anyway? So
all the freaking time.
Yeah, all the freaking time. And sometimes the thing that they say isn't even a thing that happened in the episode. So that's a thing. Yeah. So okay, moving on is what we're covering next. Until next time, Fish, don't hook up with Ben while I'm gone.
I'm a fish.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.